Standing here with Greg Grunberg. Greg, what are you doing in Victoria right now?
I am doing a movie called Bond of Silence for Lifetime, and it's me and Kim Raver and a bunch of other people, and I got to tell you, this place is amazing. I've never been here. I've been to Vancouver before when I shot an episode of The Dead Zone years ago with Anthony and Michael Hall, but this is Victoria's gorgeous.
We're all sad to hear about the end of Heroes, of course, as I'm sure you are, but you have a new show. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I hope we get a chance to wrap up Heroes because the characters were kind of left just in limbo, and we don't really know. There hasn't been any closure, so they're talking about a 2-hour movie or something like that. But I'm hoping that we get a chance to do that. The new show is called Love Bites, and it's going to be on Thursday nights. Thursday night NBC comedy block. It's an hour. It's kind of reminiscent of an old show years ago called Love American Style, and it's vignettes. It's like 3 vignettes, 3 stories, and we're going to have all kinds of stars coming in to guest star and do the little bits. And it's hilarious stories about love, sex, relationships, and I play a married tattoo artist.
Nice. What's your favorite kind of role to play? I mean, in this movie you're playing a cop. You played a cop in Heroes. Do you have a favorite kind of role?
I love comedy, and the thing is that I've always tried to infuse comedy into everything I've done, and a little bit of levity here and there, from Felicity to Alias. Every time I'm like, the guy walks in the room and pulls out a calzone instead of a gun. I'm trying to be funny, and it just ends up on the cutting room floor. I mean, so Love Bites I'm really excited about. This is cool because, it's a finite amount of time. It's a nice, beautiful place to shoot. I'm working with great people. Peter Warner's directing, and so, I never turned down the chance to play this kind of role. I've played it on Alias, and now in Heroes, and now this. But I love comedy the most.
How long are you in town for?
I'll be here for about 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be having breakfast at Floyd's if anybody wants to catch me there. No, but I'm catching all the local spots and getting advice from people, and my family's going to come up. We're going to have a good time. That's
fantastic. Do you like doing movies more, or television, or is there a difference?
I like the stability of TV. As an actor, you really don't get to, you're waiting for people to hire you. So, when you're on a series and okay, at least we have 13 episodes. I have a place. That's a good feeling, because you do a movie and then everybody, bonds. I mean, no pun intended. This is called Bond of Silence. But, the crew will bond over the next couple of days. We'll get to know each other. We'll work for a month, and then it's like, goodbye. And you don't know what you're going to be doing. On a series, you're really, that you have an arc and you have a place to go.
You're on Twitter all the time. I follow you on Twitter a lot. Millions of people follow you on Twitter. How do you use that to maintain, maintain your celebrity, I guess, in a world where celebrities seem to come and go?
It's interesting because Twitter is all of a sudden it's a job after a while. After you start, I get through all my fart jokes. I don't have any of those anymore. And then I use it I created this iPhone app called Yowza, so I use it for that. And then people are like, stop advertising. I'm like, dude, this is what I do. I created Yowza. Yeah. It's not in Canada yet, but I use it to help the retailers and get the word out about all these deals and stuff, and my band and the charity stuff that I do. So for me, there's a lot of control. I don't have to wait for an interview, or I can get the word out to a bunch of people and hopefully help epilepsy or any of the other causes that I'm behind.
Definitely. Why don't you talk about that, because you do work a lot with epilepsy. Is it right? Your son has epilepsy.
Right. My oldest son Jake has epilepsy. He's been dealing with seizures for about 7 years. He's doing really, really well. And there's a stigma attached to epilepsy. So any way that I can talk about it and get people to talk about it with their coworkers. There are 5 million people that are dealing with epilepsy in the United States alone. So it's the kind of thing we shouldn't be afraid of it. We shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's scary when you see someone have a seizure, but people still think you stick something in someone's mouth when they're having a seizure. That's a myth. Never, ever do that. You just let them ride it out. 90% of the time, they're going to be fine. Call for help or whatever. But I have a band, Band from TV. You can go to bandfromtv.org. If you could play a little clip of it, it's pretty cool. Yeah, Hugh Laurie's on the keyboards. I'm on the drums. Adrian Pazdar's on guitar, and Scott Grimes and Jesse Spencer. All these great people. And so it's that kind of thing. It's like making it cool to talk about these causes and talk about epilepsy. Like when rock and roll suddenly is in the same sentence or conversation as epilepsy, suddenly the stigma will go away very quickly.
And you have a website too, talkaboutit.org, and people can go to that and learn more. And a lot of people that are in Heroes are on the website talking about it.
Yeah, I basically will. I never take no for an answer. So I'll ask every co-star on this. I'm going to ask all the co-stars I have to please, to come on this and say talk about it. If you go to talkaboutit.org, you'll see every star you can imagine, and they they'll introduce a topic that has to do with epilepsy, and then we cut to a doctor that I've interviewed, giving us the real deal on that kind of thing. But basically, you're going to see. I mean, you'll see anyone from Zach Quint. Everybody is on there, and it's really a fun thing. And it really, again, just removes the stigma attached to epilepsy.
Thank you so much for this, Greg. I just yell at you from across the street, and you're like, "Hey, let's do an interview."
Yeah, I'm like, should I have him arrested or should I do an interview? I'll do it. Like, look at your face. You're a trustworthy guy.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
for your time, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
No problem. Let's take a picture.
Yeah, sure.